Okay, well then, everybody, thank you for joining us on this exciting adventure. This is The Shade's Tale, an Ironclaw second edition game, and I'm joined by an intrepid crew of dedicated Ironclaw players, and we will go around and introduce everyone, but first we can start with a recap of last session. We'll just touch a little bit on our adventures in Harrowgate. The party has returned to Harrowgate from the Phalon Wilds to the north. You guys brought back with you a bard named Artful Allen, who no one likes very much, and basically challenged Dan to a duel, which he promptly lost. After which Dan decided to bring him to a tavern and have him buy a round for everyone in the tavern, bankrupting him and then leaving him there. So that was the end of Artful Talon, as we know, for the time being. Anushka went around town partying again. She ran into her good friend, Ineffable Tess, the performer, and the two of them had a bit of a party day, and in the throes of incredible drunkenness, Tess gave Anushka a letter to deliver to a friend of hers in Ferme Rouge the next time she's there, a man named Half-Faced Ludovico who works at the Bent Nail Tavern. Shortly thereafter, you guys attended dinner at Lady Lionella Lennox's estate. This is the young lion noble girl who has taken a shine to Connor, and she asked to hire all of you to be her bodyguards for the night of the festival. She was in the process of trying to buy some illegal foreign magical books or trappings from who is essentially a pirate, and you guys decided to take the job, which you would have been paid for. I believe it was going to be 50 denarii for Connor and 10 denarii for everyone on top of that you brought with, probably not counting non-people like Potter and Lael. In any case,
love when I hear Connor's, not Connor.
Potter.
Potter is a non-person.
Yeah, in the hierarchy. There's like the people you hire to do a job, and then there's the people that they bring along to like hold their coat and their beer, and that is, we don't really concern ourselves with those people. They're just gonna be there. So you guys basically had a fun night at this festival that concluded in a shady deal with a gang of pirates that of course went sour. But you managed to successfully defend the lady from getting taken hostage by these pirates. You killed and disabled many of these otter sailors, and the pirate leader, a gorilla known as the Blight, escaped. And you guys decided that that's where you would leave it, except for the doctor, who was not content to just let this get away. So he tracks the gorilla down to a gunsmith. I believe it's called Perinetta's Arms. He meets Perinetta, a small mouse who is hard of hearing, and she tells him that she is letting this the Blight stay in her basement. And when he goes down to speak to the Blight, they come to a deal. The gorilla will let the doctor have the strange trappings that he was going to sell to Lionella, and in exchange, the doctor will pretend that he got away and give this Blight character a chance to fight another day.
Yep.
And I think that is where we left everything. So let's go through and reintroduce our characters. We can start with Theta. Theta, why don't you tell us about your character, Dan?
Yeah, Dan, fighting man, lemur brute, personality bold. Motto is I am the greatest, and the only goal that I'm aware of is deliver Harmon's final message.
Yep, that sounds right. Next up, we've got Ark playing Connor.
Hello, I'm Mark Lord. I play Connor Rivera, the Equity Beast, the Brazen Raccoon Knight, whose motto is one hand washes the other, and his goal is to give Colette Harmon's final message.
All right, and we have Griffin playing Unknown, aka Willie. What was it, William?
Secretly William, yes. The anonymous armadillo almoner, whose motto is first do no harm, second get paid. And he's just got the goal to deliver Harmon's final message.
Excellent. And last but not least, we've got Rafferty playing Anushka.
Hello, world. I am playing Anushka, the Microbat Messenger. I'm effervescent, and my motto is know no fear and serve with joy. And is that the goal I had was we're delivering a message to Ludovico of Ferrabruche in Avrotapod domain.
So that is another potential goal. If you guys would like, we can make that a mainline party goal.
Okay, that's the one I had listed. I guess we have a different one.
Yeah, the goal that has been hanging on for a while now is right before Harmon engaged in battle with the Morigna. He asked Anushka to deliver a message to Colette, his Boar abbess girlfriend in Harmony. And yeah, that's basically, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel goal-wise there. But I'd be willing.
I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm totally willing to upgrade your letter from Tess. If that's
if that's just a thing I'm doing, but it's not a goal, that's fine too. I'm willing to do things because of their jobs and the right thing to do. It's just it was made a big deal, and I said I was going that way. I think Tess gave me this.
Yes, Tess did.
Right. But I would like to trade in my insider with that provincial tribe that I'll never see again, and spend some of my experience points. And I would like to spend 10 points and buy True Leader.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yep.
True Leader. You're
I
gonna
learned how to be a true leader in advance of Man, should I buy True Leader? I guess I should. You haven't bought True Leader yet, have you, Doc?
No, I haven't. You're actually going to get it before me.
Actually, no. I think it would make more sense to buy like Rapid Guard.
I already have True Leader, so you don't need to. It would be nice to have a second rallier in the group, but
yeah, screw it. Because I can rally people. I'd rather buy Rapid Aim, the ability to take an extra aim action once per round.
Nice.
Loading up on the extra actions here. Welcome to Ironclaw.
Yeah.
Action economy, we got that. All right, done. Then yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, and I got to party. I'm currently the winner.
Yep. Anushka is living it up in city life. Unfortunately, it may be time to hit the road soon. But really, that's up to you guys. The other thing that I would mention is that you're still gunless. If you wanted to buy guns, now would probably be a good time to do it. And the doctor just made friends, sort of, kind of, not really, but just made acquaintances with a hard of hearing gunsmith.
Oh yes, I did see a quaint little gunsmith in town. Actually, I seem to have very high quality, guns, I suppose. I definitely think I would recommend them, at least on the appearance of it. They'd be very nice looking.
I mean, we're hard pressed to find a larger city, and I think Harrogate is the most modern of all cities. So yes, I will go looking for guns.
Right, yep. So I'll go ahead and point you to the gunsmith.
Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry in advance that I couldn't get the guns for you, but I had to go buy clothes for this party. A noble has to have their obligations.
I'm so sorry. Connor, I missed that. What did you just say?
Oh, he was just apologizing.
Back keyboard. Basically, I'm sorry that I can't pay for the guns. I had to, of course, go buy the outfit. Nobles and their obligations.
Right, nobles and their obligations. Okay, well, let's see. If the doctor, the good doctor, recommends Paranetta's arms, and Anushka, you go to visit. You see a not elderly, but a middle-aged mouse woman who, as you enter the building, seems to be tapping away with a very tiny hammer on what looks to be a gun that she could barely lift herself, if at all. It is a musket that looks like it would be shouldered by a wolf, most likely. You can see that this is one of many such similar items that has been propped up behind her small workbench, and she's tapping away, oblivious of your presence.
Well, I'm not here to buy a musket. That would require a license and or title, neither of which I have. No, I need something for personal defense. Would like to buy a brace of pistols.
Gotcha. Indeed, on the walls of this workshop, you can see that there are pistols that are incredibly ornate. I think this was mentioned when the doctor came here the previous night, but these pistols look like the kind of things that might not even necessarily be like useful, but more like dress pistol, like guns that would be worn by royalty at events or something like that.
Yeah,
but
no,
you see no evidence.
I'm traveling the road from here to Triskellion, and as everyone knows, since the decline of the basic and syphilitic Rinaldi, the roads are incredibly unsafe. Thus, I need guns to dissuade the many lawless and barbaric outlaws that are out there. So I don't need something that ornate. I need working pistols.
Indeed. Well, you can ask her.
Yeah, I mean, I can just drop the 180 and buy the brace. I'm sure they have like used pistols there or something, and I want to make a big deal about negotiating about it.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. If you're not interested in getting fancy pistols,
I'm sure
they do have.
Because you ever heard about interchangeable parts?
That sounds very futuristic.
I know, not yet. So I'm sure people are constantly bringing in old guns or burst guns. She's repairing them. So I just look at two pistols, look at them. I have some ranged combat, so I can look at them and do some of that. And yeah, just get the pistols. The weird thing is the idea of a holster doesn't really show up until like the 19th century. People are just finding spots to put pistols.
Really leather strap and just clip it to your body. It's fine.
Or like, those big cuff boots, people drop in the boots, or you get a scarf and just put. It's really weird because you would think like with sword scabbards, they would have found one for pistols. But no, people just stuff them anywhere.
So here's it's so funny. I was at the Ren Fair, the Renaissance Fair in New York this past weekend with a friend who is incredibly a pedantic history nerd. You guys would like him. We were getting into a conversation about how there is that image of like the pirate who's got like 8 pistols stashed on him and stuff, but he was pointing out that like the way that you muzzle load these things wouldn't stashing a pistol like that mean that the ammo would fall out, like the ball and powder would probably fall out of the thing, which would defeat the whole purpose of having many like loaded pistols on your person.
Wadding is used to wedge the ball in place.
Yes, in theory, you've got wadding that keeps it in place. In practice, in fact, our Ironclaw insanely has the wheel lock pistol, which is we love it because it's so stupid. Because it's got a clockwork mechanism in it that has a spring that you have to wind, which you can't keep constantly wound because it'll take a set. Also, this is medieval steel, not modern steel, so it'll take a set even faster. There you
go.
But it's a gun that makes its own fire. You can whip it out and pull. I mean, there's a reason why, like everyone, when they talk about flintlocks, because wheel locks were like people said this is stupid. We better. But then again, this is like a fantasy game. People walk around with loaded crossbows all the time. Do you think people really stowed loaded crossbows on their backs?
Probably not.
What kept those bolts in there?
Yeah, just gravity, right?
There's actually a little ton of steel that bends down and holds the bolt.
Okay.
At least for firing downward. I didn't know
when I've got this crossbow. Yeah, I'm sure when I've got this crossbow on my back and I'm jogging along the road, that bolt will stay in there nice and secure and never fall out or get loose.
Yeah,
Or
it will
shoot my
stay
tail
in
off.
for normal use, but I doubt for like running or whatnot.
Yep, and never go off by accident. I mean, there's a safety on a crossbow, right?
Yeah, I tell you, I'm sorry, this is so silly, but like,
We're sidebarring.
I'm thinking of the Game of Thrones crossbows. Nothing is more frightening than seeing those things cocked. It just looks like you don't want to be in the same room as that thing when you see how much tension goes on it and everything. Crossbows are terrifying.
Well, we're also in the modern age where you can't just have anything. It's like the Hobbit movie where it's like, oh no, he can't just have a bow. He's got to have a giant dragon killing ballista.
Yep. So that stuff is oof. But okay, it says
No,
here that
I'm just walking out of there with 2 dinky pistols.
with 2 dinky pistols. It says pistols are 30 denarii each. You can cover that?
Oh yeah, handily.
You're good? Okay, then yes. Then you walk out of Paranetta's arms with a
Now,
new pair of
pause a
pistols.
moment and think about where this money came from, because this is cash from all the bizarre adventures I've been on and the people that I've lost. And then I'll hand it over anyway. It's just a fleeting thought. And Anushka would go, there's the past is written, but the future is an undiscovered country.
Indeed. Very true. Okay, so we've gotten that taken care of. It seems currently that all of your desires lay to the east, back in Connor's homeland, at least, of the Vortipois domain. But yeah, does anyone have any final things that they'd like to take care of in Harrogate while we're here?
I did all my shopping beforehand.
I think I'm good. Besides saying goodbye to Lady Leonilla, that might be a thing that Connor should do.
Little girl, remember? Little girl.
Of course, but she's enamored.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Take that doe-eyed enamoring with a pinch of salt of little girl.
Oh, something that comes
It
back to
pays
mind
to be
suddenly.
nice.
Did we complete 2 goals last time?
Did we?
We completed my starter goal and 1 goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was the
Understood.
bodyguarding goal.
Also, did we
Got
get
it.
paid? Because I might have been out of the room when you mentioned that.
Yes, yeah. So it would have been. You guys can divide this up how you like. She's paying Connor 50 denarii and then 10 for everyone else who participated, which I guess would be the 3 of you. So like 80 denarii total.
Great. So each of us that's not Connor got 10 denarii is what you're saying.
That's how she assumed it, split it up. But if you guys wanted to try to divide it evenly, you could
Yeah,
do that as well.
To me,
Up
it's
to Connor if he pays us.
Yeah, say to me, it's the benefit of rank. Connor gets 50 denarii. I'm not going to argue he has 50 denarii.
Mm.
When I played Harmon, I did not give you the 60 denarii that I made. I gave you the 5 denarii I negotiated.
Yes, true. So,
Fair enough.
same. Everybody gets 10.
And you get 50 as befits your station. So yeah, do you want to say fare thee well to the Lady Lennox?
Yes,
All
she's
right.
been nice. She deserves it. Plus,
Oh,
maintain her positive image of him. And when he told her to listen to your major domo, that might have made some impact.
That's true. She was in a harrowing experience, and you guys saved her from pirates. And at least for that moment, she seemed uncommonly willing to take advice. And I think you gave her good advice.
Mhm.
And sounds like the doctor has something he needs to get off his chest.
I just remembered I needed to go and take this large payment and go hand that over to the mages.
That's
I
right.
meant to do that last time, but we didn't have time.
So you had the money that the lady was going to pay to the Blight, right? For that. And then a fight broke out, and presumably you still have all of this cash.
Yep, I was the one handing it over, so I just pocketed it.
Beautiful. I love it.
So I'm gonna go back to, I think it was like Flamin' Fred or something.
Flame Quill. the fire
Quell.
elementalist.
Who gave me his details and go visit it.
Okay, so you want to go visit him at the library.
Flame Quill now.
Sorry, what'd you say?
His name's Fred Flame Quill now. Please. Flame Quill was my father's.
Close.
Fred.
There you go. So yeah. Okay, well let's take these in order. We can start with Connor and Lionella when you get to her estate and you are announced. And I suppose this will probably be the next day, right?
Right.
You will hear the sound of paws on the polished wooden floor as she skitters around the corner and lets out a squeal of delight. She says, "Sir Connor, I did not think I would see you again." And she throws herself on you, wraps her arms around your waist. Once again, very unbecoming for a woman of her nobility.
He'll casually readjust the hug and then, of course, hug her in return, but then turn it back into the formal greeting it should be, by gently disengaging, bowing, and then he smiles to her. "Lady Leonella, what may I do for you now?"
He says, "Oh, I knew that you wouldn't leave. You must stay for lunch, and we can discuss your future, our future business arrangements, of course."
Well, I am leaving. I did come to say goodbye.
Oh.
And I wanted to know if there was anything final I could do for you before I left.
Her face becomes a petulant pout, and you can see that she's got the look on her face of a child who is about to throw a very fake tantrum. And then from behind you, a voice from a person you did not realize was there. It's the sort of monotone of Elbreus, her factotum. And his presence at your side is startling. You had you did not realize that he was standing there completely silent. But he says, "My lord, we are quite grateful for what you have done on behalf of the lady. Please, I think what she means is that she would invite you to stay for lunch, and perhaps this would be her way of properly seeing you off. Would that be suitable for my lord?"
That is acceptable. I certainly have time for lunch.
Very well. We will just need to set the table, but we will begin shortly. And he will show you to the dining room. Lionella is still pouting, but she's going to take you by the paw and she's going to lead you into the room. And
before they leave, Connor will say, "I count you among the saints."
Elbreus just gives you a very stoic, quarter bow, just like a nod, and then turns on his heel and marches. This guy is a professional. So yeah.
Thank you for remembering his name and realizing that's who I was talking about.
Oh yeah, no, trust me.
That's one of those names I cannot remember.
Yeah, I came up with the name and I only get it about half the time. It's a miracle that I've got it today. So no worries there. Truly, Leonella, she's young, but I doubt that anyone will ever consider her to be a saint. But she is quite grateful. During your meal, she tries pretty much everything she can think of to convince you to stay on as like a personal bodyguard or an attendant. Maybe attendance isn't right, but anything. She offers you like a salary essentially just to hang out with her. So yeah, I think that's the gist of it. You get the sense that if you are not diplomatic here, this could turn into kind of a bitter parting. She looks like she's ready to throw a tantrum if she doesn't get her way. Would you like to give me a roll for negotiation? It would be
I
will
will
and
certainly
negotiation.
try.
Oh, and you are also negotiating with a lady, so if you'd like to include your specialty, which I believe is still ladies. And this is another case where I imagine that etiquette or nobility could also grant you a bonus if that's something you want to rely on. And given all of this, though, I am looking for 2 successes.
Can I also? I mean, this is probably going to end up being overkill. But she is enamored of the knight, especially. Not just any noble fop walking around with a swagger in her step, you know? She likes knights. And because that is a specific career, so I include that in as well.
Yeah, okay, let's go for it. Just see how large we can make this dice pool. All right, geez, okay. That's 4 successes. Very nice. All right, you think that you've got the handle of this, right?
Right.
You know that
Really plays up duty and honor and being there for your liege lord. You know, all the things that make up what a knight should be. And of course, he's from the Abattoir domain, so they're all about knightly virtues and chivalry.
It's true.
You know, so he's gonna really be able to put his own hometown spin on it and really, really sell just the awesomeness of the knightly class and their virtues. And
You know, I'm sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm sorry I must leave you. You know, you have been a gracious host to us while we were in these lands. Took us in as a stranger and let us be heroes.
My duty calls me elsewhere, fair lady.
Yes.
Yeah, she eats it up with a spoon. You can tell this is she's been raised since birth on tales, adventurous tales of knights, such as yourself. Is probably the reason why she's so enamored in the first place. And she is, although you can tell that she is crestfallen that you'll be leaving, there could be no better reason than to pursue your knightly duties, right? Knightly duties. Ha. Anyway, yeah, so
Not her knightly duties.
yeah, exactly. So, she will finally give in, and she nods and she says, "I understand. You are, you are the bravest, boldest knight. They should write stories about you, Sir Connor. And I want you to know that you will always have my ear and my help should you require it. And I hope you do return to Harrogate one day, perhaps when I'm older and I have fully manifested the power and the respect that my family's house deserves. I should like to meet again." And yeah, essentially, thanks to that incredibly spiffy roll that you had, you have a friend over here in Harrogate for whatever that is
You might
worth.
have to cross enemy lines to get back to Harrogate again in the future.
Probably, but you never know what the future will hold. Plus, there's also, you can like pay someone to go deliver messages for you. You don't necessarily have to trek out here yourself. But yeah, there's something to consider. Other than that, she says, "Please allow me to provide you with some food for the road, some traveling rations." She basically will give you some as many rations as you would need to make the journey for you and for Potter at the very least.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So, if that's it for that scene, we can jump over to the Doctor and Flame Quill.
All right. How many rations were we given? Enough for how many days?
I think we said that the entire trip back to like Shalon Susolja is 16 days, something like that.
All right. So that'll be.
Yeah, we'll say like 16 days travel. So for two, I can
Wait,
do math. 32.
you're counting to Shalon,
Yeah,
not to Harmono?
I suppose that's right. If you guys are going to Harmony, uh,
I mean, incentivized by a goal.
that's very true. That is very true. So yeah, you can ask. Although I don't think it will be that different. Just eyeballing it. How would you guys head to Harmony? It looks like there might be some river travel that you could take part in.
We could book a boat, but we can't because we have the war wagon. So I think we have to take the road. Fortunately, we have a war wagon.
That's very true.
But you'll have to pass through Three Corners Fort again.
I'm sure they've forgotten about us by now.
Surely.
Well, this time we just won't break speed on the way there.
We could also just, go around it.
True. There's other roads that just aren't on the map, I would imagine.
I mean, it's not like Three Corners is a real city with a real bathhouse. It's a converted fort, that just has the most basic of amenities. We've been
Everybody see my arrow there?
Aldray, Triskellion, and Harrogate. The three of the four most beautiful cities in the entire world.
Of course.
The only place left to go is, I guess, Bruges. We haven't been there yet.
No, you've been to
been there
Bruges. That's where you
multiple
found a
times.
doctor.
That's right. We did have adventures in Bruges. Very nice. Yeah, we've there. Like after you've seen all these wondrous cities with their fantastic constructions and beautiful people, yeah, we can go around Three Corners. Great, a prison where they sell slave.
Yeah, you guys, and the last time you were there, you were kind of wanted, so going around might make some sense.
Oh, and that small issue that the warrant for our arrest.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, no one remembers that.
Actually, I don't think the warrant's for my arrest. I think it's for
Sir Connor.
They really want Connor.
And
You
quote,
are a known
retinue.
associate of his.
well, we're his hangers on. So
Yeah.
yes, all you guys over there, you gang of irregulars here, he's a criminal.
It's your lord is an outlaw.
Depends on who you ask. He's getting to do the, honestly, Connor, as the nobleman in this, you get to be kind of the sheriff and Robin Hood. It just kind of depends on where you are at the time.
Yes. I have been enjoying that aspect.
I am looking up that, so I see what you were pointing out there, Ark. I can't even say that. The monastery, Palingenesi.
Yeah, we could head there, ferry the river, and then head up this line of Dolorous cities up to Harmony.
Sorry, I'm just reading about that monastery in the Gazetteer.
Forgive me if I say this wrong, but I think that's where the Palingenesi faith hold their sway. That's sort of a mix of Lutheranism and Solmer's faith in the light.
That is fantastic. Okay, cool.
All right.
That's certainly an option. But before we get there, we should deal with this Flame Quill situation.
Right. So,
Okay, so
I haven't at his place.
yes, you ask around at the library, which is where he says that he can be found.
Mhm.
And eventually word will get to him. You don't have to wait too long, and the library is full of books. So full of people trying to study, who have nowhere to go. So you can keep yourself entertained for the time.
Mhm.
When the good Flame Quill does appear, he says, Doctor, you look, I hardly recognized you without your armor. If you wouldn't mind. Actually, no. Did you introduce yourself as William? As Will? To him?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I just said I was a humble doctor.
Specifically. Good. Okay. Because that's
And he
that's good.
understood it because he's magic.
That's right.
I'm a
was
humble
like-
doctor. I mean, I can't show you any credential, but you believe me. It's like,
No accredited university would ever sponsor someone like me, but take it on my word.
Yeah. Okay. When he sees you, you can see there's a little spark of hopefulness in his eyes, and he says, "Did you have the chance, perhaps, to speak with my lady about the topic that we discussed?"
Well, I'll say to my credit, it didn't seem like the proper time to bring it to her. She had plenty of things on her mind, but one way or another, I have managed to wrangle the payment from her estate. And I'll go ahead and I'll hand him the bag of gold.
Oh, yes. His eyebrows raise, and he will, as he sort of pokes through the bag of coins, and he says, "Oh, well, I will have to double check. This might not cover all that we are owed, but it's certainly a good start, and greatly appreciated, sir. I have to ask, how is it that you managed to convince her? We have been trying to extract this owed money from the lady for quite a few weeks now."
Well, quite simply by not convincing her. She's, well, an irresponsible young lady, is what I will say. Not to be rude or besmirch the honor of a noble or anything, but I highly doubt she even really thinks about paying others, to the greatest extent. However, she does have others around her who I believe manage her affairs in her stead, and perhaps you might have better luck convincing them.
He shakes his head. He says, "You're quite right, of course. The lady is not without magical talent, but she is," and he's saying this in kind of like a hushed tone, is she is in desperate need of a parental figure in her life, I think. Well, I'm beginning to understand that we should probably not continue our business arrangement with her. As fascinating as it is, I also question the wisdom in granting the arcane arts to those such as our Archduke. What designs he has, well, they make me shudder. I couldn't help but notice.
The Archduke?
Oh,
Is she
yes.
related directly? Oh, I had
No,
not the slightest
no.
idea.
No, she has had dealings with his Royal Highness. As of late, I don't know how much you know about the politics of Harrogate these days, but well,
It's only my first visit.
yes. Well, our lord is in the process of cobbling together a force. We were intended to be a part of this fighting force, sort of a new age of war wizards. At least that's what the lady would have us believe, and have his lordship believe. However, I fear for the wisdom. Not that it is my place to make such decisions, but I fear that His Highness is engaging themselves in a conflict that we have no place to partake in. Of course,
There-
this stays between us. I can't help but have noticed your lord. He did not seem like he was a native of this land, despite his dress.
It is true. It is true. He is of the Haute but it pains my heart to think that the conflict here is going to merely escalate. I have no doubt that they would intend to join the war already going on between the Ardepoir and the Dolaru. Look at my map here for that name.
Yeah. Mhm. He lets out like a short chuckle, and you can see that there's a great deal of sort of sadness and concern for you on his face. It's not clear if he's willing to express it, though. It seems like he's holding something back. If you'd like to make a roll, we can roll for it. We could play this out.
Sure. I'm coming to him as a person of concern, as a literal pacifist here, interested in not fighting.
Right, there you
So-
go.
So how about we go with some will to start with? We'll hit up some
It would be
inquiry.
inquiry, I think,
Yeah.
right? I would let will and inquiry as I'm trying to think if there's any of your faith related gifts.
Yeah,
But
is he pious?
is there, and this is maybe a question for the group, is there a large crossover of like people who are strictly, or I guess pious doesn't mean like strictly religious, but
I mean, someone who
magic
has
users.
faith. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
I guess there's nothing that would keep someone from being a studier of the arcane arts who also believes in the light of Salumer, right?
Oh, there's
Right.
specifically a heterodoxy for that, the Athanasian.
Nah.
I mean, Orcamines, like our good doctor here, I mean, have the most accommodating of faiths,
Hmm.
you know, where it's just like, yeah, just don't be evil.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be fine.
I cheap out into the scriptures, just make it up as you go. It's fine.
But if you like look at the descriptions in the book, Reverend Savares is specifically the spiritual advisor of the Dunwasser Academy. And he says, oh, yes, you can study elemental magic and white magic. You can study magic to understand how to transcend the bonds between life and death, which isn't technically against the rules. It's just kind of frowned upon. But we're wizards. So if people give you any gruff, just set them on fire.
Well, there you go, right? Okay,
All
I
right.
like it. I think that he is a pious man. So.
Oh, cool. So he's actually taken up on it. All right, I'm gonna throw another D12 in there.
Excellent. Now,
I was
you're-
advocating for pacifism here. Is that good?
yeah,
All right.
you can include pacifism as well. I am saying though, we're talking about like
Mhm.
national secrets here that he probably shouldn't be privy to in the first place. So I am looking for 3 successes.
Yeah. And the last only dice I'm thinking of here is a D8 because I've already done him a solid and proved I'm on his side.
A D8 for having helped him
just-
out. Yeah, I think
And
that's
this is
fair.
bonus for having done this. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. I did it.
You just
For the
got it.
4.
Okay. No, excellent. All right. So you're pressing and you can see that this man is he has a conscience. He's a porcupine. It's a
Mhm.
porcupine with a conscience. And
They're very rare.
and very rare. So far every porcupine we've met seems to be an up and up sort. But
Potter has killed.
Of course, he's down to earth like us armadillos.
Potter has
Not
killed
all
several
of them
people.
have tried to kill us. Yeah.
Potter is a killer. And also some of the heliodromes were also porcupines, so who knows, man. Better not to stereotype. In any case, Flamequill seems like a man with a conscience who is indebted to you not only because of the incredible favor that you performed for him, the kindness, but also your faith, and having learned now too that you are in service of an avoirdupois noble, his conscience is too much for him. And with your subtle proddings and questions, he will confess what he knows. He says, it would be one thing to join the war effort in this conflict between the Doloro and the avoirdupois. However, what I fear has come to pass. There are rumblings that the Archduke has been investing in a great fleet, a navy that he plans to use to flank to attack the avoirdupois nation on its southern shores. Previously till now, these waters were controlled by the Rinaldi and Triskellion, but presumably they have made some sort of accord that will allow them free passage for this fleet. Lately, all of the vassal lords in the region have been taxed up to the limits of their means. The gunsmiths in the area have all been set to making arms for this new army. And I'm not sure with their involvement in the Doloro if the Avoirdupois are aware or even capable of defending themselves in such a situation. So I would, for the sake of your lord, I would caution you, if you have family or loved ones near the coast, perhaps, and I should say I should not even be communicating this to you at all. This was the utmost treason, but as a man of faith, as a like-minded individual, I cannot help but express my concerns for you, good sir, and I am indebted to you for what you have done for me and mine.
Well, it does sadden my heart that we're going to a period of ever greater war. And for what even? But the slighted honor of others? There's little men like us can do at times like these, I feel.
Indeed, the futility of the situation. It can lead otherwise clear-headed and good-hearted men to do foolish and rash things. I urge you take caution in your travels. For my part, I must reconsider for what ends I use my talents. But indeed, I am blessed that our paths have crossed. Thank you again for the kindness that you have done me. If there's anything else that I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask.
Of course, friend. Maybe, perhaps if I am fortunate enough to come back to Harrogate, I'll spend some time here in your library. We could have a pleasant chat again.
I do like the thought that our future holds pleasant chats between intellectuals and those seeking greater knowledge. I hope that this is something we can, something that comes to pass. And he gives you a very polite bow.
All right. There we go. Pleasant exchange. Hold on. And I'm going to remove the, quote, large payment from my inventory.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
I'm keeping
I love
the
that.
necromancer strap and it's mine.
I was going to say, that you're holding on to. I do love also that Lionella basically completely forgot about the money. She was so shaken.
It's totally in character with what we see.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
Who's got to be
Elbreus
responsible about this?
Yeah, Elbreus will realize it like at the end of the week or the end of the month or something when he's doing the books. He'll be like, "Oh shit."
I'm just gonna write that down as lost, not to tell anyone we went out for black magic. Yeah.
So yeah, and also speaking of which, I think you're the only one who knows in character that you have they're necromancer trappings. That's just what they are.
Yes.
But unless you
Illegal
tell
items.
anyone, yeah, they are quite illegal. Which is something to keep in mind as you guys are setting out.
Don't get frisked.
I mean, it leads into interesting conversation. Like, what are you doing with these illegal items? What's your name?
The most interesting of conversations there.
Right.
I
Okay.
have no idea what I'm going to do with these. I literally just wanted to stop it from happening.
Of course.
Yeah.
Only had the best intentions.
Of course.
Oh, right. So, it sounded like the plan. Here we go. Is to travel east from Harrogate along the Via Salutis Road, and then perhaps take a detour north towards this Palingenesi monastery.
Right.
Just avoiding the chroma keys.
Yeah,
So-
the chroma keys. Well, we'll see. You do have like a full week of travel before you get there.
the motley bandits, as it were.
Well, yeah, but I
Motley
think they're on the side of the river that's literally where the Via Salutis road text is. Was my
Man,
understanding.
Yeah.
I would say if only we had a cannon, but I'm guessing the first time we fired the cannon, the shocks on this wagon would be busted, and then the second time we fired it, the wagon would fall apart.
Right. Like, I know, like, you can get, like, a set of wheels for a cannon, but I imagine that's probably reinforced to take the actual impact of it, and plus it's not a lot of it, so when it does break, you can just rebuild it.
I mean,
And
my
I'm
first
gonna-
question there would be, what shocks?
No,
Exactly.
you have shock. I mean, it's you have a V-shaped spring right
Mhm.
underneath the axle that's bent. They're not good, but they're better than nothing.
I mean, the
Yeah.
problem there is that then we're modernizing the war wagon, because the war wagon is based off a design that had no shocks, apparently.
No, you guys. Otherwise, if your wheels were on a fixed axle that had no give whatsoever,
They break
you
all
would
the
get-
time. Yeah, that's what
you would
happens.
get-
Well, yeah, you'd also be shook to hell, but I mean,
Yeah.
Mhm.
also the war wagon breaks a lot because that's what they did. They
Yeah,
broke.
I mean, but no, we have some rudimentary. We have something. It's the Renaissance. We have something.
I gotta ask, are these, just for my own curiosity, would these shocks be metal or would they be wood?
Well, speaking of breaking all the time, they're probably wood.
Yeah, I
because-
think last time we talked about it, they were explicitly wood.
Yeah, I mean, a good carriage would have steel springs, but this is a war wagon, and who cares about these losers? Stupid irregulars. So yeah, but it's still better than nothing. And also to answer your question, pretty much no, there is no mobile cannon yet. When mobile cannon shows up, the entire all this detente here with all of these kingdoms, man, we just can't kill each other because we can't bring the death over there fast enough to kill everyone. Once they get mobile cannon, this all change.
Yeah, wow.
Aren't
There's
aren't
Or in this
Akomas-
universe, wizards.
doesn't Akoma have mobile cannons?
They have ship. You
I
have
thought
to
the
define-
bronze cannon was the mobile cannon.
Well, it depends how you define mobiles. Yes, if you have a team of 20 people who pick it up and drag it places.
Light cannon.
yeah.
I thought it was. No, that's in place. Never mind.
Right. I mean,
There are mortars available, but
Yeah,
Even
that's
the
another
mortars are
continent.
listed as in place.
Yeah.
and the problem is any tiny gun, any cannon that you can make that's small enough to move. The problem is where you're going, they have a bigger cannon that shoots farther, so they see you coming.
I mean, I guess at some point we can get a crafter to make those one-shot wood cannons.
Well, you could also do fireworks. I mean, Zhongao, they have rockets where we don't care if this thing blows up. You fire it, it's made of paper. You just light fuse, get away, fire it, and come back later. But no, I mean, I'm just reinforcing, folks, the Galloper gun that a lot of people are thinking of, it's the Napoleonic era thing, is not here yet. When it gets here, it's going to change stuff.
Like I said, we just make one out of wood.
You could get what is it? A
It'll
Rebel
explode.
Twin?
But it'll still fire a cannon shot.
Yeah, you guys have seen that Mythbusters episode, right?
The Hwacha?
The wooden cannon.
No, I don't think I saw that one, but
Yeah, they made a cannon out of
Bunch
wood.
had bottle rockets attached to arrows.
Well, that's what I keep
That's the
saying.
one I'm
I mean, I
thinking
haven't
of,
seen the
yeah.
Mythbusters episode. I saw many a History Channel show bring it up.
Okay. Yeah, they make a cannon out of wood. It's okay for a few times, but hey, you only need to kill people today.
Well, that's why I keep
I do
saying it'll
remember
just
that,
blow up on
actually.
the first shot, because that's all
Yeah.
I ever hear about it, is it fired once, it worked, and it exploded.
And if you're looking for the rocket
Yeah.
arrows, yeah, those are in Book of Jade.
Cool. This is so. I have this book. I think it's from the first edition. It's a Bisclavret
With
book
the weird guns.
with the weird guns. So I'm just looking in the back, and there's a gun that's basically the organ gun, the Rebeldequin.
That's where you
That
just
thing's
take
cool.
a bunch of guns, nail them to a cart, and then have a string so they all go off at the same time.
Exactly. It's basically like a mounted firing line.
Yeah.
the funny
fun.
thing is they've reinvented that, but with electric firing circuits now.
Yeah, now it's computer coordinated.
Now it's
Yay.
Woo!
Well, I mean, I'm so fond of pointing out the militia show up a lot in Ironclaw, which is they're not good fighters, but they all have craft. So, well, we've got a lot of craft and we've got a lot of guns from dead people. I don't know, nail them to a cart.
Let's build something fun. We got time.
Nail them to a cart.
Hell yeah.
And put him in the corridor. Then one guy just sits there with the string and just waits all day.
So how long until we start digging trenches for warfare? That's fine.
Beautiful. Okay, so, sorry, I just got excited and then tripped over my own self. All right, so as you guys you have your war wagon, you have concluded your business in Harrogate, and you decide that it's time to press back east. As you are heading out, I believe it would be the south entrance along the Via Salutis. Forget exactly which one it was. It was probably the same entrance that you guys arrived through, though.
It's the only one with the road attached.
The one with the road attached. You can see that there's a group of gate guards that are mostly ignoring the people leaving the city. Mostly they are focused on the people joining the city. But as you come closer with your wagon in tow, you recognize one of them as one of the guards that gave you shit, that specifically gave Dan shit as you guys were entering from Thalon from the north. And as he glances back your way, you think you can see a moment's recognition flash across his face.
I run.
You're making a break for it.
I
awesome. Run. Okay. Dan takes off. And that's enough for this guy to that's enough confirmation for this guy. He throws his head back and lets out a loud signal howl that draws the attention of the other wolves on the wall and the other guards at the gate and near the gate, and they immediately begin mobilizing, attempting to cut off your path, your exit from the city, with your wagon. What's the plan?
Wait.
Dan is already taking off ahead of you guys.
Sorry. Can I rewind a little bit?
Oh, sure.
Because before you said they recognize, my intent would be to run off on my own without them seeing everybody else, because I know...
Sneak away.
I don't know sneak away. I am a flamboyant personality. I'd probably throw a rock at them and then run. But my intent is not to be seen with you. I don't intend to get you in trouble for the thing that I did earlier.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. So yeah, I like that. Okay. First things first, I'm sorry because I just remembered and it might matter now. Connor, this would have been a good time for you to roll for your regulars. So,
all right.
Decide what you want to do with that. Meanwhile, we'll say what happens here with Dan is that you get the attention of the one guard who recognizes you, and when you take off, he does howl, he does alert, he grabs like two of his companions, and they begin to chase you, but their focus is on you and not on the rest of the group. The rest of the group, you guys see Dan basically take off with 2 or 3 of these wolves in pursuit of him. And let's see. I want to do a chase. I like the chase rules. I think they're cool, so I just want to do
I was going to throw out my master plan here.
What is your master plan?
Which is specifically Dan-oriented. Is that I'm going to try and run around all the incoming traffic so that they're less incentivized to try and nail me with something.
Ooh,
and then as the group is leaving, circle back and point break it. Slide underneath the wagon when I'm not seen and hold on to the underside with hands and feet.
Okay. I like it. I think we should roll for it to see if it succeeds, but I think it's well reasoned, right? So you're basically using the other commuters as cover so that they can't shoot at you, and you're trying to lose them in the crowd, right?
Right.
And yeah, you can use your nobility here. You know, I'm going to make a judgment call here. I think that your nobility is probably not worth a whole lot to the Harrogate community. I think we established that they're basically not. I'm speaking to Connor right now, right?
Yeah.
I think that they're not that impressed necessarily by avoirdupois nobility. So we'll say without it. You still have one success with your mind.
So
How many
that's
dudes is that?
2 dudes.
Two
One
dudes.
you get
Okay.
for just rolling, and you get another for every success.
I mean, to be fair, could also be 2 ladies.
True.
Fair
It's
enough.
up to you.
True. That's up to you. Don't put this one off on me.
Oh,
I'll say
well, one
these-
of the only qualified person you can find is a woman.
That's true. We
Um,
did find.
Don't have to frame it as the one of the only. She could be a very qualified woman in her own right.
That's true. But yeah, I leave it up to you, Connor, to come up with your irregulars.
All right.
Meanwhile, okay, Dan, do you want to give me body speed and stealth, and anything else that you think would apply in this stunt, this maneuver you're pulling?
I'll be honest, I don't even remember how this worked the first time. I should have been caught getting in. I don't know how I'm gonna get out.
I'm saying part of the reason you weren't was because you kind of had the rest of the party to sort of like, it's like, dine and dashing, right? You don't chase the people who dine and dash. You chase like their friend that you left holding the bill. I think that's part of the reason why you got away so well.
Got a 1 and a 2. Like I said,
Oh, okay.
I don't know how it worked the first time. These dice are not good for this.
Right, okay. All right. These wolves, they're wolves, so they have tracking, which I want to say, is that just a D12 to finding people?
I mean, it's probably
That is
unfairly
good.
obvious. I did mention I threw a rock at them before I ran.
It's a
tracking
decent,
D12 for following trails.
right. And I guess if he wants to be followed, I mean, you could just fail the test following it.
I already failed, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Alright,
it
well
doesn't
then-
matter.
It's
This is
not that I
specifically-
want to be followed. It's that I
Yeah.
threw a rock at them, ran, and then tried to, bend into a crowd, and I really failed at it. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a D12 bonus plus they get another D12 if they have local knowledge.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So they're gonna find him.
like I said, I don't know how
Yeah.
he snuck in the first place.
Yeah. Okay, so here's how this is going to go. So you guys, from the party's perspective, you see Dan, I'm so sorry. You see Dan sort of take off, and but it doesn't look like you're being stopped. So you basically get to exit the city. You make it down the road, maybe like a few hundred feet, and you notice that Dan has weaved his way through the oncoming traffic. He pokes his head out from, you're trying to hide under the cart, right? So pokes his head out, and you look at him in surprise, and you're like, Dan, you made it, or you're here. You were here the whole time. Like, what happened?
Oh yeah, sorry,
Um,
not Point Break. That wasn't Point Break. What is it? What's the movie? It's 2 words. It's a place.
I'm trying to think of. I feel like that stunt has been done in multiple movies, but I'm hard pressed to think of where.
I mean, it's lampshaded, but like Sideshow Bob does it in The Simpsons. But
Yeah,
it is Robert De Niro gets out of prison. His lawyer is the one that failed him.
Was it Ronin?
No, yes, Ronin. He holds onto the bottom of a car in Ronin.
I mean, no, there.
That was
Oh.
sarcasm. I don't actually know. With a name like Ronin, I assume it's not modern. But this is Cape Fear.
No, it
is it
is-
Cape Fear? Is that the name of it?
I don't know that one. Ronin is a. I think it's Robert De Niro plays like an ex
Cape Fear. That's it.
thing, bank robber. But yeah. Okay. Anyway, in any case, you guys notice that Dan is with you. But then that on your heels, apparently he wasn't able to lose the trail with these wolves that have very, very sensitive noses and the ability to track. And so now you don't have basically the entire guard following you, but you do have these 3 wolves that are in pursuit and are closing the distance fast. And it looks like you guys are you have a war cart. You're being pulled by a dray, and you do have a lead. I suppose it's possible that you could lose them. What's the top speed of a pack animal? Because they're on foot, right? So they're chasing you down on foot. They don't have mounts.
If they're on foot, what's their speed? Are they a bunch of D6s?
I'm going to tell you in just a second. Harrogate guards. Yeah, there's just a bunch of D6s. Their run is 15.
Dan might just literally outpace them then.
Well, I mean, all of you, I think, would outpace them in this case. Yep. Okay, cool. So yeah, so you guys basically bump on down the road, and you can see behind you these wolves are chasing you. They're shouting, they're howling, they're making rude gestures, but thanks to your head start, you're able to you're basically able to keep ahead of them as their stamina wears out. And now you are on the long road towards the Pelagianus Monastery. And I know we're still pretty early in our session, but I wonder if you guys wouldn't mind taking a short break while I prep the next encounter.
Oh no, that could work.
Could work? Okay,
That's
cool.
fine. I'm just writing up my familiars now, so I'm doing good.
Perfect. The new irregulars that we have traveling with us are Campbell Sen Abigail, female Dole Scout, and Angry MacBain. No.
Argyle.
Argyle. I read that wrong, but I like it. Argyle MacBain.
You could be Angry Argyle if you want.
I'll call him Angry Argyle. Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Oh,
Good
and
name.
he's your driver. That's perfect.
Excellent. We have a history of grouchy drivers. So yeah, 5 minutes. We'll be right back.